Hey yo, what is good, y'all? I'm Malcolm McFadden, the creator of 615 Comics, and I'm here with Creator Chaos, and I have a special guest with me today, the writer of Trading Injustice, Raphael. How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good. How are you doing? How's life treating you?
Life's treating me actually really good right now. I can't complain at all. Summer's getting started. This nice weather's back, so I love that. How about you?
Man, we're in South Texas. Hot, hot, hot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a deputy, a sergeant with the sheriff's office, and I'm on the sun and I'm cooking all day long, man. All day long.
At least you'll get a nice tan, bro.
Yeah, well, brown as it is right now, man. Bald.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, what's good with you, bro? You're a fellow creator like me. So, how are you doing in this creator world right now?
It has been a blessing, Malcolm. This will be my third year.
Mm.
We're up to issue 4 of a trade-in. We have the one shot. We got the guidebook. Working on Union of Justice, which I really want to get into. It is going to be it's a powerful crossover, man. Um, there's a lot going on, man. We got the Union of Justice. It's scripted already. It's already being colored. All 33 pages are done. Um, Before that, there was the first crossovers with All Star, which is Ronnie Martin's superhero. Um, there it is, right there. That is the Union of Justice, right there, man. That is going to be 7 indie heroes from 7 different creators, uh, starting with the Starcross family, which is Tradian, Starstruck, Alpha Red, and Red Talon, and in the Eternal. And then we got Ronnie creates in his universe, Radical Comics, All Star, and Nathan Rouse from Idolverse. These guys are the beginning of something special, Malcolm. We all heard of the shards of negativity, right? From our big thing with Henosis Authority, right?
Hmm.
So this is the introduction. Yeah, that's Henosis Authority right there, man. That's going to be 16 superheroes, indie heroes, and 10
Facts.
creators. I think it was 10 creators, right, Malcolm? Um,
I believe so. Yeah.
Man, that's gonna blow people away. Um, Sword of Justice, of course, is the main catalyst that unites everybody in both these stories. The Sword of Justice is the living primordial uh, embodiment of justice from the beginning of existence. Connected to the energies of justice across existence. So it can sense energies of disturbance in the energies of justice. It can time travel. It can go back and forth from universe to multiverse to omniverse. It is my most amazing creation that I ever created, man.
And it's allowing for all these crossovers to happen. So, that's fire.
That is, man, that is probably the most unique thing about the Sword of Justice. The living primordial celestial embodiment. It has its also sword, a Tradian, which has the same power, of course, at a lower level than the Sword of Justice. Um, but it's coming, man. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. The very first meeting, I know we can put it up there, man. Between a Tradian and anybody is with All Star. I think I sent you those pages, man. I think they were like 1 or 2 pages. I don't know if they're in there or not. That's the
I downloaded a
trailer.
lot of it.
Yeah. Okay. I think you know what? I think those were in the off our chat on the messenger. I don't think I could email them to you because look, that's another crowd. Okay, yeah, there they are. Okay, I think there's one more. That's going to be the second meetup.
That's the only one I got right here.
Okay, I got you. Okay, okay. So the Sword of Justice in the canon version of my series, which is issues 1 through 8, um, in issue 4, it's already sensed a major disturbance in the energies of justice, right? Which is Abaddon and the shards of negativity. Abaddon is the main bad guy in Henosis Authority, but it's the Sword of Justice is already sensing that something catastrophic is going to happen. So it's going to reach out to all these heroes across the Omniverse. The very first one is, of course, All Star in the Radical Comics universe. It's going to meet up with him. A Atreides and All Star meet up. All Star's going through some major things in his comic book with the death of his son, and he kind of doesn't trust cops. So he sees what Atreides does on his Earth and how he is a righteous person, and Omnica connects with him, right? The second meeting between between the Atreides and another hero is Tin Soldier, which is this hero here. This is already 8 pages that are scripted and written and colored. Those are going to be part of an anthology in the Starcross universe, right? So he meets up with Tin Soldier in the Starcross universe, and they meet up. Father Evil is in this universe for a certain trinket, and Atreides senses it and helps out and gets rid of these astral wolves, before they take possession of it. From this one, it's going to lead into the Union of Justice. So we can go back to those pages. That's another one right there. Yeah. Right there. Okay. So that's one of the covers. That's cover A. That's drawn by MKO. This is my artist, and my color is Federico. You want to go to some of the pages that are black and white? Where are they? Okay, right there. Those are the first 4 pages of Union of Justice. The Sword of Justice is gonna reach out to All Star, and All Star is going through his own problems. As you can see there, it's like a flashback to what happened to his son. So the Sword of Justice is son. I know you're going through problems here on your universe, but we got a catastrophic universal thing going on. So he recruits All Star, and then from there it's going to lead into the battle. Those pages aren't there yet. No, I don't want to show those pages yet, man.
Okay.
So right there. So they go into this battle where it's going to be Starstruck, Alpha Red, or Red Talon that are dealing with these astral wolves that want this shard of negativity and corruption. They're already in this world, but they're corrupted, they're altered, so they're stronger, they're meaner. And these three, Starstruck, Alpha Red, and Red Talon are dealing with these guys, Atreides, and also show up to help them, while the Sword of Justice recruits Eternal and Jupiter Man. And they wind up joining the battle. In this battle, man, they're fighting these, they're trying to find the source of what's causing all this, which is the shard of negativity. So Atreides is able to kind of they join up, they hook up, all these heroes unite, they fight off these astral wolves, trying to get to this shard of negativity. So at the end, there's a big battle. Atreides is able to kind of shut it down, but it's going to lead to the Henosis Authority. You know what I'm saying? At the end of this battle, it's canon to Atreides story, and then non-canon to the Henosis Authority. Which is that big, huge battle with all of us in it, man. Your heroes, our heroes. There's the second cover to the Henosis Authority. So in the Sword of Justice, at the end, it's going to tell you, okay, it's going to go to the Tradian series, and then boom, to this major crossover, man. You've seen the pages already, right, Malcolm?
Yeah.
The first 17 pages, man. They're coming along.
I think we're up to 19 now, right? I think it was 19 that was in there.
Yeah. Yes. So we see a lot of coasters in that one. We see a lot of Dre's hero that I forget his name all the time. The young kid. That's gonna lead to a lot of amazing stuff, man. Here you see Daryl's heroes. Jesus Christ, you're Avery. What's her name? Miss Lay.
Lee, right.
Yeah. She kicks ass in this one too. Of course, the Sword of Justice unites everybody in this crossover. So from the Union of Justice, it leads to the Henosis Authority, and then it's canon to a Atreides story. So right now we're up to issue number 4. I don't think I sent you that, but and then after issue 5, Atreides got to make a major decision that's going to change his life, and he's going to get judged by the sword of justice. So he gets cast off to sickness, Father Evil's world, where he'll be judged by the sword of justice. While that's happening, the Union of Justice is already united, and they're going to go help Atreides' family search for him because they don't know where sickness is at. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have those same 6 characters plus Atreides' family looking for Atreides. So that's going to be exciting.
Dang.
That's going to be awesome.
Before we continue, I got a quick question for you. That character looks fire. Where can I read him?
Starcross Comics. Starcross Comics is my publisher. So they can look them up online, on Facebook, on TikTok. I'm all over the place. But Starcross Comics is the website. Is my publisher. Yeah.
So man, that's dope. Just having this whole big crossover and your story just kind of go through. It's kind of like like Marvel when they do like their big events, and kind of how it just expands through and how your story continues through it.
Right. So if you can find the Divine Justice cover, so canon to the Atreides story, right? It's going to be canon to it. Where is it at? It's that right there. Okay.
Divine Justice.
So during issues 3, 4 of Atreides, he's reaching out to these other heroes. He's already met All-Star. He's already met Tin Soldier, which is part of this universe. So he gets another alert through the sword of justice and his keen sense of the disturbances of justice across the omniverse, and he feels something happening in this world, back in Starcross world, right? So while they're in this Starcross world, this is a really cool story, man. I actually wrote this whole story. It's scripted by me, our editor, and our the creator of Starstruck, and the owner of Starcross Comics, Joe Spicer. He's like, hey man, I have this idea that I want to put together, scripted. It's called Divine Justice. You'll be the first one. It'll be your story, and it'll go from the next issue 2 will be another one of these creators. You know what I'm saying? Writing their story. So in this story, all these heroes sense this major disturbance in their world, which is something called the Blade of Anubis. It is a beetle and a blade that Father Evil wants because it can cut into Death's realm, cut into the veil of Death's realm, and take possession of Death itself. So Father Evil wants to be he wants to be the essence of evil, and then he control Death. Can you imagine if he had both those? So in the story, that Blade of Anubis is older than time, basically a version of God. The sword of justice and other entities of good are trying to hide this blade that was made by the entities of death and chaos back in the beginning of existence, right? They create the deities of evil and chaos created that blade so they could get to death, right? God in this world, a version of God, right? And the sword of justice, another good entities, they hid it on this planet, which is this version of Earth, of course, before time. You know what I'm saying? There was no living things there yet, right? So eventually the planet grows, there's human life. Father Evil senses that power coming from this planet and sends his astral wolves to go find it. So these heroes and Atreides unite to fight all those astral wolves and destroy that entity, that power before Father Evil gets it. So yeah, that's going to be another great crossover. That's already scripted. We just need to get it, drawn. You know what I'm saying? It's scripted. I scripted it. Of course, the guys helped, little parts to it. All these characters, which is Starstruck, you're gonna see, which is gonna be Red Talon, the Eternal, the Sleepers in the middle. He's like a computer type genius of the Crusader, which is like a man. He's like a godly like Crusader, you know. And then of course a Tradian. So that's another crossover, man. That's waiting just to be printed out, man. Great story too.
That when do you plan to put out all of these crossovers?
Okay, right. So this one, it's gonna be Unit of Justice. Okay, so the crossover with All Star is gonna be his anthology print. It's already done, right? That's gonna be his anthology. The crossover with Tin Soldier, scripted and done, pages are done. It's gonna be in the Starcross anthology. Unit of Justice will be its own, which will be out in August on Kickstarter. And then I go to issue 5 of Tradian because it has to be. It has to go to issue 5. And then this will be the next one, Divine Justice. Canon to a Tradian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Non-canon that will probably be sooner than this one because I hooked up with Nigel Flood from Punt Press Comics. I don't know if you ever heard Punt Press Comics. Nigel Flood.
Never heard of him.
He is the creator of the United Nationalists. They're a big company, man. They got if you want to find that Atreus Judgment crossover. So this is supposed to come out next, but I just haven't gotten to this one yet because when I hooked up with Nigel, we just worked on it, dude. We just got it done. I don't know if you can find that. If you can find those pages. I'll show you which one it is. Atreus Judgment. Okay, so that's one of the covers. That was one of the covers, and there's an actual cover that has the title on it, and then 2 pages that I'm sharing with you guys. That's one of the covers, but I think there's one that looks way badass than that, way better than that. And I saw them earlier. Okay, those are 2 pages, and I think the cover's in there somewhere. Man, look at that.
The other page?
Right.
Okay, this looks nice.
Right. So that is right there. That is Judgment right there. There's another cover to it too, I think, which is even better.
That looks dope.
So Nigel Flood, he's one of the main guys from Punt Press Comics, United Nationalists, the Globalists. They have a lot of books out there, but one of the main bad guys is the United Nationalist. And this guy right here in the green, he's the authoritarian. He is a alternate version of that guy, the United Nationalist, right? So they live in this world where he is Hitler, basically a Hitler type universe. You got rebels that are trying to fight against him, of course, right? So a Tradian senses the disturbance and justice coming from this planet and goes undercover. If you see some of those pages real quick, the first 2 pages right there. Okay, so that's page 1, which is that universe, and then page 2, which I hope Nigel said it was cool. Here, right there, that's a Tradian. So the first few pages are going to be in black and white because this world is dark, chaotic, Hitler type world, but a Tradian is going to come in and bring the color into this world. Right, man. So we actually have way more. We have about another 4 or 5 more pages that I just didn't want to share yet. Emma Jones, Emmanuel Jones. I haven't seen his stuff. Emmanuel Jonathan Jones is the artist for this. Colorist, letterer. We scripted. Me and Nigel scripted the whole thing, and Emma's gonna be. And I love his work, man. Look at the way he captured a Tradian. Undercover. He's in there figuring out what the hell is going on this planet that's being run by the authoritarian and his army of bad guys. He has a whole army of soldiers. Basically, Hitler running this world.
Right.
People are scared. They're obedient, not because they want to be, but because they have to be. Pure evil, right? So a Tradian's gonna go in there. This guy, he's going to undercover, kind of figure out what's going on. He's going to hook up with some of the rebels, and now you got an all-out battle, right? So, but what's really cool is in Hitler's mind, was he evil?
Mm.
No, right? In Hitler's mind, was he the bad guy? No,
No, he
right?
was the hero.
Right, man. So it's going to be controversial at the end of this story, man, because Atreidian is trying to fight this evil guy who, in his own mind, doesn't realize he's evil. Kind of, you know what I'm saying? So they battle out, and Atreidian knights some of the rebels on this, you know, in this universe, and kind of warns the authoritarian, "Hey, man, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, bro. I understand how you think, but you're wrong because you're evil." So it's gonna kind of end and lead to a revenge part where authoritarian is gonna want revenge on the Tradian. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But it's dark. I love it. Emma's work, man. Emma just blew this story away. So Divine Justice was supposed to be the next book. Was supposed to be after issue 5 of a Tradian Devastation, but I got ahead of myself with Nigel because this guy's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited. You know, it's like, of course, it's non-canon to the Atreidian story. That's what's cool. So it's easier for me to do it. You know what I'm saying? Divine Justice is still part of the Atreidian story, right? He's already met with Tin Soldier. He's already hooked up with the All-Star. He's preparing for Union of Justice, but he senses that disturbance, you know, with that Blade of Anubis, and he's gonna go help these guys, you know, in Divine Justice. Which I love the name, you know what I'm saying? Divine Justice is awesome. But this story, Nigel and I, when we, you know, I kind of like wrote the story and Nigel scripted it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And then Emma did all the work, all the hard work, you know. And I'm just blown away by it. So we're gonna kind of put this one out first, and then Divine Justice, you know. It's crazy, man. Crazy story, man. Crazy, dark. Go back to the pages. I just love the way Emma caught that, you know. So that's what I'm telling you. The first like 5 pages are black and white, maybe 6 pages. It's a 33-page book, so it's a lot of pages, man.
Right.
But the first like maybe 5 or 6 pages are black and white because it's going to be a Atreidian bringing in color into this planet, into this universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like the feel of that. I like the feel of him out here. He the only one in color.
Eventually, as you can see on that train, you start seeing the authoritarian, you know what I'm saying, in color. You know, you're going to see certain things coming into color. As he unites with the rebels, you're going to see more color. And so eventually, when Atreidian fully comes out in his, you know, in his costume, then the rest of the world will be in color. And now the battle goes on with the authoritarian and his soldiers, man. His soldiers, Nigel's version of these soldiers are like Hitler era knights, man. If I can describe them to you that way, man. I just can't show them yet because, you know, it's a work in progress. But he's got him in his mind. He's a great writer, man, too. And his heroes are always dark-looking killers, man. You know, but that story is going to be exciting, man. That's going to be a real dark story. I really hope it does well, man. It should kick a lot of butt, man. It should really kick a lot of butt.
And this is the one you said is coming out next on Kickstarter?
Yeah, no. Union of Justice will be first. Right? And then it's going to be Treaty number 5, which I don't have anything on yet because I haven't gotten there yet. And then it's going to be, it was supposed to be Divine Justice, but I think we're going to come out with this one first before Divine Justice. And then Divine Justice, and then, of course, the Atreidian series, probably in 2027 or 2028, issues 6, 7, and 8, you know. Non-canon to this. Can you go back to the one with Aftershock with Shockwave Comics? The guy with the green with the that right there. That you know Chandar Wilson, right?
This one right here?
Yeah. Do you know Chandar Wilson? He's over TikTok. He's a creator of Shockwave Comics Studios. His hero is Black Star, right there, the guy with the black silver looking suit.
Right here?
So he reached out to me one day and he's like, "Hey man, let's do a crossover." Of course, this is non-canon to a Atreidian story, right? And they're gonna fight that guy in the purple. I forget his name, man. He's like super powerful, and he's gonna try and destroy all these universes. So all these heroes unite. All-Star Solar's gonna be part of this story as well. Thad's superhero.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the other covers on there.
Let me
So
see this one.
yeah, I think he's right there in the corner. There he is, right there. So it's gonna be that this bad guy and a few other bad guys that are gonna unite, and then plus the Sword of Justice and Atreides and Solar and All Star, these other heroes unite to fight this main bad guy. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Atreides out there, man, with all these amazing, talented freaking writers, man, and I wish I could. I want to do a crossover with everybody. You know, Malcolm. I want to do so
You
many
basically
crossovers.
have. You doing? I feel like you've done all these is a crossover like everybody.
It's awesome. You know what, man? These last 3 years have been magical, bro. A lot of work, you know, having a full-time career in law enforcement. And you know, a lot of my story as a cop is an Atreides story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's really special for my heart, you know. I want to keep it faith, family, justice based. So in this story, I think Chandler's already done the first like 15 or 18 pages. This story is also scripted by Nathan Rouse. Nathan Rouse is, I you talk to Nathan, man. He's an amazing scripter. Young kid, man. Young kid. Jupiter Man is his main hero. I think he's working on a Hancock, you know, great talent, man. I wish I could write like him. So he actually helped me script Atreidian 3 to 8. So I wrote each story and plot the way I wanted it to be for each story, for each issue, connecting with the Union of Justice, and he just took it to the next level with his scripting. You know what I'm saying? I scripted issue 1 with Aaron Dowan. I scripted the one shot, and so it's like, and also the Divine Justice story. It just takes a lot of time, you know. I know you're scripted too, right?
Right.
So it's hard, man. And so if I come up with an awesome story, you know, Nathan will just tear it up. You know what I'm saying? He does this. He's awesome. He's an awesome kid. So he scripted this story here with Chandar Wilson. Chandar gets given the idea, the script, you know, the plot, and boom, he scripted it. So Chandar is working on all the colors, all the pages, all the lettering, and I think he's already up to page 15 or 16. Man, that'll be coming out soon.
He's drawing, coloring, and doing the lettering.
Yeah, Chandar is awesome too, man. Yeah, Chandar is great, man. He's all over TikTok, man. He's all over Skyline Comics. He's always on with a lot of different creators, young creators, older creators. The indie family is growing, man. Malcolm is growing. You know what I'm saying? I love your work. I love all your work, man. I wish I could do. I want to do a with Black Lightning. What's the name of Black?
Black Storm. Yeah. He's part of one of our crossovers. I think you're also part of that crossover too.
Yeah.
I can't remember which.
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember which one that one is called too. But
right.
But yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot of crossovers in the works, and a lot of dope things going on right now from creators. It's very inspiring to see everybody, you know, putting out their work and really going at it.
Yeah, I'm planning to do Union of Justice number 2, maybe in 2028. Once I'm done with some of and I want that to be special. I want that to be maybe guys like you know, Dark Storm, Black Storm, you know, maybe Solar, maybe you know, I'm trying to get Acolyte, you know, in there with Concrete Comics, Soul from Midnight Comics, or maybe some even you know some other special friends that I met through these years. Another Union of Justice Part 2. You know, I have some ideas that we can work with that, or even I was even thinking maybe Union of Justice 2 continuation from Henosa's Authority, where these shards are still spreading across the omniverse, you know what I'm saying? And they're still entering these other omniverses, you know what I'm saying? And we still need to deal with that, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have the big battle with Abaddon in that big book, but there's always remnants, man, you know?
Exactly.
That's what I kind of want to throw that idea at, and I was going to start writing some stuff, which I already do actually have some stuff written down and put that together. Maybe 2028, you know what I'm saying, a year and a half from year and a half from now, get that out. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm hoping Union of Justice number 1 kicks butt. Of course, I know Authority should kick a lot of butt, but that's still about a year from happening, you know what I'm saying? That book.
We still getting the pages done for that, but it's looking good so far.
Yeah, that's what 300 pages, right? That's how many pages it is.
I can't remember how many pages
It's
exactly. I know
300
it's a
pages.
lot.
So that one's still a bit from coming out. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
this is a great story too. Chandar, just man, um, he's a great guy, man. You should have him on your show, man. He's a great dude, man. Great dude.
Yeah, I never heard. I'm gonna look him up. You said Skyline Comics,
No, Shockwave Comic Studios.
Shockwave Comic Studio. Okay.
Yeah, Chandar Wilson, real cool dude, man. Real cool. That guy is a 100% supporter of indie comics, man. Indie creators. He's all over TikTok. He's always on TikTok every day, man, with different creators.
Okay.
He's always offering advice, man. Really cool guy. He's helped me a lot. My biggest inspiration, of course, was Tony Cottrell from Advent Comics.
Yep. Shouts to Tony.
Yeah, man. He was one of the first guys I met 15 years ago with indie comics, and I didn't even know what they were. And we clicked right away because he's a firefighter and I'm a cop. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And Tony's actually the first guy that helped me create my version of a trade-in. I had all these sketches and I had all these ideas, but had no, I didn't know any writers or artists or anybody like that, right? So I reached out to him, and he created the first version of a trade-in. You know what I'm saying? Which was awesome. Him and Wormert. I know who Wormert is. He's one of his artists. They create the first version of a trade-in, which is probably the only version. Of course, he's gotten. We changed it. We tweaked him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Nick Garber from Apogee Comics is the second guy I met. That guy's a board trade-in too. So he helped me a lot. And then Ronnie Lockett. Ronnie Lockett. He's got an awesome guy too. And then, of course, I met Aaron Dowen and Joe DeSantos, my first artist and my first scripter, for issues 1 and 2 of a trade-in. And then I met Joe Spicer from Starcross Comics, and he invited me on to Starcross, and it's just been skyrocketed up, man. And I met you guys. I met Justin first, Biff. He met him up. We met up. We were the first guys of that whole Henosis Authority, and it's just blown up from there, man. It's been awesome.
It is. It's been great, connecting with each other and sharing stuff with each other and sharing resources, which is dope. It's
right.
It's something, like they say, sometimes we see a lot of negativity, but people don't see the positivity that we do, like in the background, like all of us like working together and helping each other out and sharing resources and things like that.
Yeah, it is an absolute blessing, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing everybody grow, Thad with Solar, he grew, doing amazing. He's signing with Concrete, Dre is getting ready to release his Kickstarter soon. Trey's he's gonna shoot his, with Kosis, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Daryl, everybody in everybody's got Jamal, everybody's got their stuff going on, man. It's amazing to see Daryl, and his stuff, You everything with you guys. You're kicking major butt with 615 Comics, man.
Trying to, bro.
I love it, man. I love it, dude. We just need to keep supporting each other, and I try and back up as many Kickstarters as I can. Even though my beautiful wife, who's probably listening, hates it, but you know what I'm saying. I tell you, I can go buy other stupid stuff, but I'd rather support these guys and their dreams, and then hoping they support me in my dreams. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing better than indie comics. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So what is, speaking of indie comics and being in the scene, what are some of the things that you when you first started, to make comics that you didn't know about, and then it kind of was like a wake-up call when you started making comics?
The whole process, I guess when I met Aaron Dowen and Joe DeSantos, I didn't know as many people, right? So they're great people, man. He's a great scripter, Aaron, and Joe DeSantos is an amazing artist. But they're the world that's out there. You know what I'm saying? The indie world. You have all these amazing artists in the Philippines, in Nigeria, in Great Britain. Chinedu is one of the best I've seen. And his Gajo, I can't ever pronounce his name, Gajo or Gajo. You know what I'm saying? but and so working with Joe DeSantos and Aaron, and then meeting Joe Spicer and meeting so many different artists and writers and scripters and letters. It was challenging, man. And at the end of the day, it becomes about funding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. My 5 Kickstarters have done extremely well, and they've all gotten, thanks support from my family, support from work at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, all the indie fans that I met, but it was the whole, man, there's a whole world out there, and choosing the right artist, somebody you can trust. Unfortunately, I've been scammed a few times, man, by these guys that promise you this and then they just ghost you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really careful with that. I know you learn the first time, you kind of trust people, and I'm a trusting person, man. I'm in law enforcement, and I became a law enforcement officer for the righteous reasons, right? So I always give you the benefit of the doubt, anybody, right? But once they get you twice, man, that's it, dude. Now I'm real strict, man, on who I use. And there's always people reaching out, But I think I have a really cool team. And it's really going well, man. Really going well.
How is it bringing all of these different people into your ideas and like bringing them, having it all go together? Like, it got to be a little bit stressful to kind of, share a lot of your ideas with these people and try to get all this to come together.
It's community, So when I reached out to Ronnie, well, me and Ronnie met. Ronnie creates from All Star, right? We met up on TikTok, and we just connected. And the fact that his hero is, in the story, his son is killed by a white cop. You know what I'm saying? We connected right away, and I try to explain to him that all cops are bad. I swore that oath to God and to my state and my county and my country, because I really want to help people. I wanted to be a cop since I was 12 years old, right? So we connected right away. And he loved the idea of a trading. He loved the idea of the sword of justice, right? And then hooking up with Star-Crossed Comics. Justin was the very first one, man. We started doing these battles with indie breakdown verses, you know what I'm saying? Those are fun. Those were fun because when it was innocent, and then too many guys started coming up and making their heroes like indestructible and you can't beat them in any way. And so it kind of took the flavor from it, but it's still there, Right. But you meet all these other people, and just reaching out, hey, man, I have an idea. I'd like to use your superhero if you could on this story. Nathan Rouse is one of the first ones. Ronnie creates, of course, my friends from Starcross were in right away. James Ewan is the creator of Alpha Red. He's been around for, I'm gonna say, at least 15 years. His comic book is a completely Christian, Christ-based comic. He's powered by the power of God. You know what I'm saying? So it's an amazing story, right? So it clicks with a Tradian. You got this power of God, and you have the justice embodiment of justice, man. It connected, right? So yeah, it's been amazing, man. Chandar, man, from Shockwave Studio Comics, man. We were talking on TikTok one day, and hey, man, could you draw a Tradian? And I paid for the first one, and he just kept drawing them, it's amazing, Malcolm, when people out there that take their time to draw your comic, man. You draw your hero,
right?
Fan art is humbling to the highest level for me, man. It shows me that people actually like a Tradian for what he is. It's been amazing, man. Chandar's an awesome guy, reaching out to these different writers and connecting. And you've seen there's about 5 or 6 crossovers that I'm going to do, besides my story, right?
Exactly.
So the hardest part is keeping it canon, right? And the non-canon stuff, right? So, so the All-Star, Tin Soldier, Union of Justice, Tradian story, and Divine Justice are all canon. The Treya's Judgment, Hinosa's Authority, Shockwave stuff is non-canon, which is great, man, because the Tradian can do that. That's the coolest thing about a Tradian is that the Sword of Justice can time travel back and forth in time, can be affected by time. It was made when Geo was made. destruction, life, all the first creating. Then came justice, right? So when justice was created, it took the form of the sword of justice so it can control time. It can control some of death because it's able to keep the essence of some of it, all its knights. Any knight that dies in a line of duty, it can keep part of its essence and its power in it and share it with other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when he shares the power, like when a trading shares the power with his family, the family member gets the memories, knowledge, and power of that night. So that's just mind blowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like I said before, it's really dope that this sword, this entity that you created, allows you to do these crossovers and allow you to team up with these other heroes and still keep it within the story. Like that's pretty dope. Like just to come up with that concept allows you to do that.
Trust me, man. Look, a trading was I wrote him when I was 12 years old. His name was Power Wolf back then. Imagine Raiden and the werewolf. Imagine Raiden from Mortal Kombat and the werewolf. I was 12 years old. I loved Raiden and I loved werewolves. So that was the first version of him. As I got older, it changed. He became Warfighter. Man, for like 10 years, he was Warfighter. And I had different versions of him trying to come up with his power. Then I finally created the sword of justice, what I wanted to look like and what it stood for. It's a cross, but basically a sword. Right? It's a sword in the shape of a cross, right? For faith, because I'm a strong believer in God. Not perfect by any means, right? Well, none of us are perfect, right? But I want to keep the faith. The scales of justice, because I'm a cop. I always wanted to be a cop. The flame of baptism in light to shine the light and save people, right? So I created that. And then when I'm doing this, it's like justice itself. That's when I started studying, researching about justice itself. And I never saw anybody out there that was connected like this. That is the living celestial embodiment of all justice, connected to the energies of justice across all existence. You have guys that are justice based, but don't have that power. They're Superman with hope, right? Superman is hope. I always think about it like this. Superman is hope, right? He instills hope on the world to fight. You're fighting a bunch of bad guys. He's coming to help you. He's instilling hope for you to fight. But eventually, if the bad guy's stronger than you, you're going to lose unless Superman gets there to save you, right? But if not, even hope can run out. If the bad guy's stronger, but justice, with the way a trading does it, he shares his power with certain people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making you a knight if you're worthy of that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about being worthy, righteous, right? So man, all these years, man, and believe it or not, most of every single thing that I created has happened after a major thing that I've been through at work. Some major robberies and deaths. I'd come home with nothing but sadness. I'm saying, dealing with PTSD and things like that, right? So writing this story, man, would save me. Malcolm, it really did, man. All these years that I've been a cop, writing, and I would just write. What's he gonna do? What is his power gonna do? What is Union Star? Who is Union Star? He is gonna be. He wasn't even. I hadn't even given that power to his grandson yet. But I said Union Star is going to be a culmination of everything: sun, moon, and stars. You had never seen that before. So I was like, wow, you got Thor, the god of thunder. You know what I'm saying? What about if you combine them all? And I came out with that name, the Union Star. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a combination, sun, moon, and stars, man. And as I kept writing, every hero, everything that I've done is based on something that happened to me in my life, right? Everything, Malcolm. I'm talking like Father Evil. He stands for everything that I've seen in this world, everything that we're seeing in this world, chaos, death, racism. He is the embodiment of all that, right?
Right.
Crushes, the rock monster that I created, is everything that we go through as cops, first responders, that just piles up on you, man. It piles up on you and it crushes your soul. So I'm like, yeah, it's a perfect name for this for this monster. He's a soul crusher who likes to eat human flesh or flesh, period, right? Cancer, enough said, right?
Right.
She is famine and tempter. She's a temptress, a superhuman temptress, right? So that's what I'm saying. Every character is for something I've gone through in my life. You know what I'm saying? Especially in my law enforcement life. Um, if you think about all of Atreides' family, the sword, the armor of God, right? Is the armor of God, the shield of God, the sword of God, the feet of God, the shoes of God, and the helmet of God, right? So
Mhm.
that's all his family. The sword of God is going to be Atreidian. The armor of God is his wife, Iron Angel, whose main power is shielding people, right? The shoes of God is the daughter of Ripley's, who is a speedster. The
Mm.
armor of God, Lionstone, the righteousness, and the hat of God, or the is going to be Union Star, because he's on top of everything. You know what I'm saying? He's up here. So everything is for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like it. Makes the story way more interesting when you add that personality to it, those personal things from your life into the story.
Right, right. If you read, remember, if you read the one shot where he's a narc and he's undercover and they kill a little girl,
Hmm.
that is a tribute to some of the worst calls I've responded to. With 3-year-old kids get run over, drive-by shootings. They hit the wrong house. 8-year-old that drowned that I couldn't save. And it's like it's all that is a tribute to those kids. You know what I'm saying? That story is a lot of what I've seen, and I of course can't put it exactly like it happened in my life. So I made it at that part. When I was in narcotics, what I'm saying, we got shot at a few times. So it's part of that story. I put a little bit of me into the whole book. You know what I'm saying? Every story has a part of me in it.
Right. Which that
Yeah.
makes these stories like your baby.
Yeah. Oh man, it's
Right.
we all, every single one of us indie creators writes comic books because we love comics, right?
Hmm.
You love comic books for whatever reason you love them, however they touched you in your life, right? And Superman, that first comic I bought, led me to becoming a deputy, dude. Real simple, man. I've told that to the first person when I became a cop, to the sheriff, my department, was when he asked me, why did you want to become a cop? Well, because I discovered Superman when I was 12, and I knew heroes were not real unless you became a cop, firefighter, EMT, soldier, for God's sake, Marine. So that's how special comics are to me. It's just been part of my life since I was 12 years old.
No, I like that. That's fire because it made you become a hero, and then you just didn't tell these stories. You actually became a hero and used your everyday hero life to write these comic book stories. So that's actually a full circle type of moment.
I love it. I love it, man. I want to keep going, man. I want to keep going.
So at this very moment, what is next for you? Like at this, I know you said you had a lot of stuff working on, but at this very moment, like when we get off this call, what are you going to be working on?
Union of Justice, man. That comes out on Kickstarter in August.
Mhm.
That's my main concentration right now. Where I'm telling we got all 33 pages already drawn. I think I got 9 pages colored. They need to be lettered. And you know me, man. With my Kickstarters, I will never release a Kickstarter till my book is done.
Mhm.
That is so important to me as a creator. My book's gonna be done, and I'm gonna buy my own, out of my own pocket, my rewards for everybody. What I try and do with the money that I make on the Kickstarter is pay for the next issue. You know,
Mhm.
pay for printing. I wish I had more money. We live check by check like everybody else in the world, unless you're a millionaire, which I'm not, right? So check by check, and the money from each Kickstarter is always going to be for the next issue. I have yet to make a profit for myself, and I don't really care. I want my book to go out there. I want my book to mean something to somebody. I've had several people reach out to me and say, "Oh shit, I can connect to what you're going through with your son. I can connect to that, man. I'm going through some stuff with my family. We're going through this. Because the trading is real. He that's what makes the trading human is the human element that he's going through." And,
Mhm.
and you're going to see it in issue 5, Devastation. That's why it's called Devastation, because he has the ultimate power, but is going to make the ultimate sacrifice. So then that'll lead to be him being judged in issue 6, 7, and 8. 6 is going to be called The Search. They're going to unite with the Union of Justice and his family to go search for him. Issue 7 is going to be called Judgment. Now he's going to be judged by the Sword of Justice for the decision he made. And issue 8 is going to be called Justice Awakened. This is going to be bad, dude. Bam. And of course, you're going to have the Union of Justice, all these other guys in that story, and all those 3 stories, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's going to be powerful. Those are all and they're all scripted. You know what I'm saying? All of them are scripted already.
Sounds like you got a big next 3 years ahead of you, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. You know, my family is my foundation, right? My wife, my son, my grandson, my family are the yoke, the foundation of our family, right? But my passion is comics, man. You know, my wife knows it. It is what I am. Besides the family man, you know what I'm saying? And a cop is comic books.
Does your family get in on it? Do they like draw or anything like that?
No, they don't. I'm the only one with the talent. I'm trying to pass it on to my grandson. You know, he's liking it, but he's into all the damn games. You know, he's up till 6 in the morning. He's 10 years old, man. So hopefully, when he gets a little older.
Right. You could teach him. He can draw those games. You know, he can make some money drawing those storyboards and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try and do next. Also, I want to do a manga style trade-in. I've already reached out to some guys that I met on TikTok and on Twitter and on Facebook, and I like to do like a eminent domain type stuff. You know, with like a Jujutsu Kaisen. You know, I have never dwindled with manga, but I really want to do a trade-in manga story. You know,
that would be dope. Yeah, I think he would look fire as in the manga form.
You know, I think Chinadu kind of drew him. I don't even remember that pinup where he's getting powered by the all his the Ultra swords, and I thought that kind of had like a manga feel to it because I started getting these different kind of fans. You know what I'm saying? Like younger fans. You know, like wow, manga type guys. You know, and I was like, yeah, that's an untouched market for me, and I would love to try and get into that market. You know, or at least try to. You know, at least one book.
Yeah, it's still, because at the end of the day, it's still comics, just a different style.
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So I'm not gonna keep you too late, but before we get out of here, is there anything else you want to promote, or any where they tell them where they can follow you at, or anything like that?
Yes, sir. So my publisher, Starcross Comics, guys. You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Threads. All those kind of sites. Look for Trading Justice or Ralph Madrigal. Support each other, especially the indie creators out there. I'm always willing to talk to anybody and help anybody I can.
All right. Oh, and one more question before we get out here. DeAndre Robinson said both you guys have insane work ethic. It's really inspiring. I'm writing my first script, and I was wondering if you have any advice.
Well, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first. Advice: if you're writing your first script, that is one of the first steps that people don't do. A lot of times they don't just go out there and write their script. So if you already shown that you really want to do it, so I would say since you're still writing your first script, I would say consume as many comics as possible. Especially if you love comics, writing comics. I've learned that reading comics has helped so much with actually writing comics. Just things that you pick up on when you're a fan of comics, it bleeds into you starting to write them. So if you're a fan of comics, just read as much as possible in the genres that you like, and also try to read some genres that aren't your normal genres, because you can find a lot of interesting stuff in those ones that you can bring into the genre that you do like.
You're spot on. I guess I would say make sure you have your world building first.
Mm-hmm.
World building, character building, your story, your plot, and that's where you take it from. That's where you go to your script, right? Because if you don't have those in order, your script may be good, but it's going to be missing some things. So I always try to have my world building, I'll have my stories, and then I'll script. And I've scripted 3 full books. and they came out great. They did well. So yeah, so that would be my best advice.
Yep. Thank you, DeAndre, for the question.
Sure.
Hopefully we answer that for you. Yeah, but man, thank you for coming on and talking with me tonight. It's been another dope episode. Everybody that's watching this now, tomorrow in the description, I'll have all his links and stuff to where you can follow him and things like that, so you can keep up with everything he's doing. So, Ralph, once again, thank you for coming on, bro.
Now, man, you rock, Malcolm. You know, I love working with you. I hope to work with you more. Let's just keep rocking, taking care of each other.
Oh yeah, we definitely will keep working. I mean, you master crossover here, so we definitely gonna keep working.
Woo!
Yeah, but all right, y'all. Thank y'all. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody that added in some questions.
See you later, guys.